This should be the last stop, because this is going to be the hottest area. Anything used down here is going to be crazy, crazy warm. So we don't want it to mess things up, basically. Now, with that in mind, we can set up a little area back here as well. For the same reason. How are we doing? We are rapidly running out of petroleum coolant. So we need to get this up and running quickly. I'm going to say that once it's been allowed into the system, it no longer needs to be insulated. In fact, it shouldn't be insulated. There we go. And at this point, I'm going to want this area cooled down as a general kind of flow. See, this is in such an awkward position. This specifically is in an awfully awkward position for me. I think we need to move this because it's just going to keep getting in my way. Let's... Ultimately, we're not going to need it for a long time. Sorry, we're going to need it for a little bit until we've got the system running on the new cooler. But until then, we do need it. So let's make sure it does stay here. But let's get it out of the way because it is massively in my way right now. So once all of that is hooked up, we'll get rid. Because this is how I'm making sure the thermoaccutuners are not roasting themselves. Because they're only made out of gold amalgam. And it is only the presence of this liquid that is stopping that getting really nasty. I could just hook up the petroleum to the current cooling loop, but A, first I'd need to drain it, and B, it's not how I want it, so let's build a good one, and then move things around. I will deconstruct this. I'm going to move this around a little bit, because this is where I want that loop to be coming from. Sort of on its way back up to enter this is where I want this little function to happen. And we'll deconstruct this. Right there. And as soon as that is gone, we'll deconstruct this here. Liquid pipes only, please. Just strip that all the way up there. There we go. This is now primed and will be ready. So, we want the sensor to take out of this loop to be here. So that does mean I need to move the AND gate too, actually, for conveniency. Let's pop it down here. In fact, let's strip all of this apart. There we are. There we go. Something like this. Actually, cancel that. We are going to want that built slightly higher. For a very, very, very important reason, actually. Let's move that. In fact, let me lay down what we're going to need first. First, I need something that can draw the liquid out of that loop and put it into the cooling loop for the industrial. And then I want another one that can take out of the industrial loop and put back. So once it is too hot, it'll go back through this system. So the return loop for this area will be here. Something like that. No, we can't build that like in quite that way because I need it to have a bridge so I can control the direction. Glad I caught that before it became an issue. That could have been a very nasty issue actually if I hadn't caught that in time. Let's move this down a little bit to give me a bit more room. But what I mean by I need to be able to control the direction is I need this. I need to be able to say that anything exiting this one doesn't try to go out through this one, otherwise everything gets messy. Instead, we do something like that. There we go. That works a lot better now. And we need this deconstructed rather urgently, actually. Like right now. No, before you build this, don't even think of building that yet. There we go. Woof. Aavak, would it be a good idea to turn your too wide main ladder into a pipe ladder pole? Probably. Actually, yeah. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Can we get those done on a super high priority, please? Thank you. That allows the building to continue. Right, so there we go. Now I want this down here, flowing in this direction. Now the way this one works is liquids that are to return, that are going back through the loop. We'll need a thermal sensor here. And this one is going to need a thermal sensor just before this. So let me get rid of that. There we go. Thermal sensor right there. And finally, we get back to the AND gates. I can set that up there. There we go. This one can just be hooked up directly. It doesn't rely on a secondary condition. This one requires that the liquid is both below the maximum temperature and, or rather below the minimum temperature, and that this is ready to receive more liquid. This one just needs to check if the liquid is now above the maximum temperature for this area, which is going to be 250. If it's above 250, I want it to prioritize liquid moving out. Though, that being said, you know how I was talking earlier, chat, about how it would be better for me to have a system where I couldn't. Well, it depends on how you want to prioritize things, because in the event of a backlog, so for example, if liquid that came across here was 255, that would turn this pump on, or this valve on. However, if there happened to be something blocking the exit, the 255 degree liquid wouldn't be able to take this, so it would just take that direction, because this is the default path. And that's the important part. I only want liquids to be able to re-enter this system if it's below the maximum temperature. If it's too high, or there's too much liquid in the system, it should take the default path. So I just caught myself in a bit of a problem there that I was making. In fact, let's that does require kind of a rejig of all of this. Ugh, sorry about this. I'm a bit of a derp, really, aren't I? Bit of a derp. But never mind, chat. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'll one day not be so dumb. One day. Yeah, I do need this to be clear just so that I can navigate this area properly. So, yeah. Gonna need that up there. Strip it all down again. I'm sorry. We'll get there, though. Okay, I just got some bits. Thank you very much. And also a Prime sub. Willie Pete, thank you very much for the Prime there. 2 months. Second month, best month. Good evening, Aavak and Dapplings. Hope you're all having a great Friday. Well, I certainly am. Thank you very much indeed. It's all better now for your being here. And Derek, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. That's a chonky bit bomb there, my lord. Right, we want this removed. And this. We need most of this removed, actually. Okay, so we're going to want this pointing up, I think. Where is the automation wire? Oh, thank goodness it's in the right place. Okay, that is good. That is actually really good. That's going to save me a little bit of extra effort. Again, like I said, this is the only one that needs an AND gate. I can put the AND gate there. It's going to be kind of tight. No, I need that to be removed first. It is going to be tight, but it's fine. It should be okay. Liquid pipes. And what I can do here is I can have priority for any liquid that needs to exit this pipe can have priority here by doing this. Like so. And then putting a pipe bridge just in front of it. If there's no liquid trying to exit, then any liquid coming from this pipe bridge will just flow freely. But if there is liquid trying to exit this point, then only what liquid there's room for can exit this one. So, for example, if 5 kilos rather than 10 kilos is moving out of this system, then 5 kilos from this side would be able to move into it. Otherwise, it just has to wait to pass through. So that way, this system can dump its contents if needed. And that should be okay. So now I need this to be correctly set. If it's above 250, if it's below 250, it's allowed through. This will be active and it can enter back into the system. If this is below, let's say 200, that's the minimum. If it's below 200, then it's allowed into the system at that point. And if we have a look here, this should enable this valve. But if, for example, some 250 or 251 degree coolant came through here, this would be negative because it's not below 250. This would shut. It would flow out here, and then it would try to pass this, which is checking whether it's below 200. Of course, it's going to fail that one because it just failed this one. So it will then travel on and then re-enter the system up here, which is exactly how it's meant to do. We will also sanitize the direction, the flow, by implementing a pipe bridge here, just so I'm certain that no liquids can ever back down into the system the way in the wrong direction. And there we are. That is now set. At this point, I just want coolants, pipes. How do I want this to flow? Honestly, I don't know. I could have it. I suppose, have it flow upwards. Just up here. Jump over a bridge there. Jump over a bridge here. Flow back down. Jump over a bridge here. And then flow out. Alright, we need to cancel this then. There we go. Now, I'm not putting down tungsten pipes yet, because I want to wait for a moment for that. We're using granite, good. This will be the first part of the system that is cooling correctly. This is going to be the proof of our system. If this works, then we can hook up other parts to it. How are you doing, Leafin? Hope you're doing well, mate. Alright, let's have a quick gander. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's just make sure everything flows correctly. Flows back in. Goes up. Around. Goes down. Alright. And this is about as good as it's going to be. Now I need to hook this up to a valve, honestly. I need something I can shut down. So let's go ahead and pop a little valve. That will send this liquid out. I think popping it up there is fine. If it can't leave here, then it simply cycles back around. Deconstruct. Well, actually, no. Cancel that. I need to deconstruct this one because I do need a pipe on that tile. I am going to need a switch. Now, this switch is purely. It's purely a means of me shutting down the system from filling this. So eventually, the coolant will all flow back and will build up. Just because I'm aware that if this doesn't work, I need to be able to shut it down. Also, whenever I add a new system to this loop, I need to be able to control that. For the time being, the way this system will work is this. We'll flow it down like that. We'll then have it bridge across here. This is messy, I know. But again, this is largely just so I can test the system. I hate having all of these ladders covered in pipes because it gives me no room to do anything else. Which is, not fun times. How much is on this? It's got loads of capacity, so let's just hook that up. In fact, it still has loads of capacity, so I could just hook it up down here as well. There we go. Ultimately, though, if this was a well-designed system, I would have my own transformer for every point like that, just so that it's not tied up to something else that I could accidentally disconnect. The recovering physicist. Thank you very much for the 4 months, mate. Just joined the stream. Hope you're having a good evening. I am. Hopefully you are as well. How are the plants up here? Plants are doing good. Temperatures return to something approaching good. This is now being cooled rather than by the geyser runoff. It's being cooled directly. Oh no, by what we're working on. Mop all that up, please. Can you get it down there? No. Oof. But now that that's hooked up, let's finish this off. Oh dear. Is everything hooked up? Is everything finished? Is everything moving the way it should? Because I hadn't properly looked at that. In fact, you know what? Let me just shut it down. Right, now that should... That petroleum is now going to sit there for a little bit. We are draining petroleum now to fill this back up until it doesn't need any more. But once that's connected, it should start working again. I just want to make sure all of this system is correctly set up. These are running. Is anyone going to come along and do this one? There we go. There we are. Petroleum's now moving back through the system, and it'll continue to move for a while. This is now backing up because there's a free flow of the petroleum. Good, good, good. Alright. Temperature's dropping. Good. And it's climbing here and there as more petroleum gets back up into the system, and we'll probably see it climbing again in just a second. Mind you, it's going through 2 thermoactive tuners, so it should generally be pulling the temperature down overall. Now, the existence of a reservoir here is to balance the temperature. There's over a ton of petroleum in here. And because of that, that mass of petroleum, a ton of petroleum, even if a very hot, blob of 10 kilos of like 500 degree petroleum entered this, if the temperature of the ton of petroleum is like I don't know, like a 0, which is where it should be at, that's not going to make much of a difference. What's going to happen is you're going to introduce a tiny amount of super hot into an enormous amount of very cold. And so, you know, as the temperature is going to fluctuate very, very slightly. So having that buffer allows you to regulate the temperature. It prevents large spikes in temperature at the very least. We should be seeing the temperature in here climbing quite quickly. The liquid there is moving up towards the 100 degree point, which is very nice indeed. That's going to flash to steam soon, but it's not going to start being pumped into the steam turbine until it's actually, you know, quite hot. To make the most out of it all. 325, 325, 275, yeah. This should be fine. 200 degrees is perfect. Right, okay, so that is all done. This piping is moving the correct way. All of the inputs are going the right way. Moves up. Ooh. Damn it, that is wrong. That is wrong. Now this is why we check. This is why we check, chat. This is why we check. This, if this overflows, see what's happening here is liquid can enter here, but it can choose where to go at this point. But this is now bypassed that sensor. So, what we do, I imagine some of the eagle-eyed amongst you already spotted that problem. And we're just waiting to see if I would. Well, there you go, I did. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of me. So we'll just introduce another bridge down here. And so if the venting amount is too hot, it leaves this way. No, we still... No. We still need it. We still need... No, we need the bridge. We need a bridge down here. To prevent it flowing backwards. But I want to give this bridge priority. That's the tricky part here, is I want to give the liquid flowing this way priority. I may have to move a lot of things around instead, actually. Yeah, because I can't... Yeah, I'm kind of stuck. That being said, I could bridge over this. That would work. It's going to be a mess of pipes here, but unfortunately it's going to be necessary. I could move a couple of other things around to make this a bit easier on me. I'm not going to in this case, but it is possible to make this look a lot better. I'm just going to say that now. But once this is done, we will do a quick test flow by eye, see how it moves, and then we can sign on it and activate it. But that's the fun of watching you work. Well, I mean, jolly well done spotting that. All should be well now. Hopefully. We'll see. Now, let's do a quick flow check. So, flows in here. Comes down there, goes across that bridge in the correct direction, goes across this bridge correct direction, this one as well. Goes across here. Now, this is giving priority to anything coming through this system. So, if it's clear, it goes through. Goes through. Don't need this one anymore, so that can just be piping. So let's run that properly. Gets up to here. Checks temperature. If the temperature is correct and we need coolant, this is active. It flows through and into this, into the storage. Then up, flows through, grabbing heat along the way, down, grabbing heat, bridges across, checks temperature. If the temperature is correct, it activates, is in the right direction. Let me just double check that this was actually looking for the right temperature. If it's below 200, it's allowed in. If it's still below 250, it's allowed to continue in. So at that point, bridges across. Now, is there a liquid pipe there? Yes. And is there a liquid pipe there? Yes. So this stage, It should be allowed through. Now, if... problem here is there could be a backlog, because if liquid is moving through here and up into there, even if this doesn't have the requisite amount of fluid, this can't add any more. So realistically, I want this to bridge across in this direction. There we go. That's a problem that we caught. Let's break that down. Has that been dug up already? Really? Oh, yes. Yes, of course it has, because now it's complaining that it hasn't got an output point. Basically, we want it to move like this. This will never try to take this turn because it'll be going to an output, and it doesn't go there. This will never try to take that turn because it's going to an output, but it will evenly allow the liquids through, which does mean we might bleed off some liquid. It's not ideal. It's really not. But, you know, what can you do? Well, there is a way that we could solve that, but it would require so much rewiring. I am so hesitant to do it at this point. So hesitant to do it at this point. Am I going to do it at this point? I think I might. Okay. Let me come off this. Now, the way that we could get that to happen is to have two reservoirs. One that accepts liquid, fresh liquid, and one that accepts liquid that's already in the loop. And you only check if one of the reservoirs is accepting liquids or not. And that would prevent any loss of liquid that you wanted to enter into the system. It's probably what we're going to have to do if I really want the system to work properly. The only other way that I could cheaply enforce this, and there is a cheap way of doing it. No, both will never fill up because this one doesn't allow, like what you do is whichever it works similar to this basically. Whichever one is the last in the chain, you check that one. So in this, actually we're not checking that, but basically these are filled in sequence. And then emptied in a specific sequence. You check the one that would be filled last, but emptied first, for its fullness. Because if that one is filling up, it means the one behind it is, well, actually you check the first one, because that one would start to fill first if it couldn't dump into the other one. Both kind of work in weird ways. It really depends on how you want to go about it. But basically, one of them is the one you would check for its fullness condition, and that would suppose the fullness or emptiness of the other one. But the other way we can do it is by using this pipe and having another valve that can be shut on or off. And I basically tell this valve, don't let anything out until this is at 1 ton. Is at 1 ton. It's not... Oh, my lord. We've just run out of power. Well. Without power, that can't run. Now let's slow time down and find out what went on there. We've run out of coal? No, we've got plenty of coal. How long until this next activity is in 10 cycles? Yeah, I might have to hamster wheel it. Now, is the problem that we just don't have enough? No, we've got plenty of oil. I think the problem is this isn't getting processed on a high enough priority. And all of these things are running all the time. Okay, disable that building. Disable this building as well for now. Just disable this coolant for the second. That is going to stop draining the system quite as aggressively. But that has shown that this works exactly as it's meant to. The only problem is this will also not quite work either. Maybe I should have that battery also control this. Can you? No, you can't. Okay. I mean, I can hamster wheel it, yeah. We've got also stupid amounts of coal. So I could just add more coal generators for these moments. It's not the most elegant solution though, is it? Still, it is a solution, and a solution is better than no solution right now. Are these set up differently? 50, 10, 30, 10. Actually, I kind of want all of these to be running on the same loop, but it's fine. I would have to run it across too much stuff and it would get in the way. That'll do. And eventually we're going to want another one of these. Sure, you can make it out lead if you really must. I wonder if lead will... It might not. These need to be built as a massively high priority. Also, for the time being, this needs to be... Oh, actually, you guys can use it while there's still oxygen in there. Is there enough power back? Oh, there is. Still, go get that set up, please.